What's up, Heat Nation? Welcome back to another Miami Heat roundtable. We got a special episode for you. We got the whole crew here today, but we got a special guest. So excited to have Anthony Dinardo here with us. What's up, man?
What's going on, y'all? I'm hyped to be here for real, but I'm disappointed it's coming off a win. Because if they was on an 8-game losing streak, I was ready to bring some hate to the show. But we're gonna be a little positive today.
That positivity could go out the window the next time you join us because I want to make a quick disclaimer. It's Friday, 3 o'clock Pacific time, so like almost an hour before game time. So we're going to be putting this video out before we know the outcome of the game. So all I'm saying is this Heat team better fucking beat the Wizards. We need to be on a 2-game winning streak. So we haven't talked about the snap of the 7-game win streak together. So the Miami Heat finally broke that streak on Wednesday, I believe, against the Sacramento Queens.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Exactly, dude. Like, just we were hemorrhaging and we needed to stop the bleeding. And it was just a torturous 2 weeks, but we finally got that dub. And I think we got like 39 or 40 assists off of 42 made field goals, which was just insane. Like, just Jimmy had like 7 assists, Bam 6, Tyler 8, Terry Rozier 10. Like, the ball movement was unreal. And people were unselfish. We're hitting shots finally. So defense played well. So excited that we finally broke the streak, guys. So what are your thoughts and just on the current status of the Heat? What's your outlook on them moving forward? How do you think Jimmy's been doing? Because we know he's been stepping up finally.
I mean, my outlook is the same thing that we saw last year, and that's because they have the same exact team that we had last year. I think we all kind of agree that we saw this Heat team make the finals last year, see the front office do nothing in free agency, and then I'll be kind of annoyed saying that, well, when you're that close, ideally you want to make some moves to improve with the rapidly growing Eastern Conference. But instead, they decided to do nothing. And because Mickey Arison has cheap tendencies, the only really new pieces they have is the young draft pick and Jaime Jaquez, who's been great. Now, they obviously did get Terry Rozier about a week ago. His start's been slow, and we do got the trade deadline in a week. So everything I'm saying now could be changed if they make a splash. But if not, my thoughts are the same as last year, which is this team has a lot of obvious holes. They don't have a backup guard. They don't have any size, and they will struggle to be above the play-in. Now, going into this is kind of where I struggle as a Heat fan. I have an internal debate. I don't know if anyone else feels the same way. But going into the playoffs last year, I felt terrible because they were a Max Strus explosion away from missing the playoffs entirely. So I'm sitting here thinking this team is terrible. They got to blow it up. But then they make the NBA Finals. So I'm reluctant to make the same mistake now and say that this team is not good enough. They're a first round out because that's what I said last year, and they made the finals. So it really confuses me as a Heat fan. So I don't have a great answer for how I feel, but I'm just sort of in a wait and see mode.
Nah, this team sucks. This team sucks. Straight up team sucks. This win against the Sacramento Kings, yeah, it was good, but that win don't mean shit if we go out here and lose to the bum ass Wizards. Simple as that. Doesn't mean nothing. And when we look at our record and just look at our home record and our away record, it's mediocre. We're 13-11 at home. We're 12-12 away. That's not going to get the job done, especially the seeding situations that we're in. We're most likely going to be playing on the road. And with this roster that we have, and you brought up a good point, Ant, of us just not having that backup guard and just being undersized. Look at the teams in the Eastern Conference. The Celtics, they're huge as shit. Look at the Bucks. the New York Knicks are on a 9-game win streak, one of the hottest teams in the Eastern Conference. The Cavaliers don't even have their best guys. Mobley just recently came back. Darius Garland is out. But guess what? They have a superstar guy that I always wanted of Donovan Mitchell. He's carrying that team to a 4th seed. Now, the big question to me is always going to be about the 76ers because without Joel, I don't know how long he's going to be out, but with the torn meniscus. So we may get lucky, but how the Heat are looking at the moment and with the schedule that we got, so if we lose the Wizards, look at this. We've been talking about this schedule for a while now, right? We play the Clippers. The Clippers are going to destroy us. I'm sorry. They're going to fucking destroy us. This game's going to be over in the second quarter. Then we go play against the Magic. Should be a winnable game, but what happened last time? We lost by like damn near 18 points. So this schedule's not easy. Then we go against the Celtics and the Bucks and the Sixers and the Pelicans and the Kings. So this stretch to me is super, super important. This will tell me the whole season. With the trade deadline looming in 6 days, I don't think we're doing nothing. Like you said, Mickey's cheap as hell. And I think all the frustrations coming from the fans, and even Jimmy, you could tell with his body language and the team's body language, it all stemmed from this offseason, which we all thought we was getting Dame Lillard, and we ended up with fucking Terry Rozier. And that's not a knock on Terry, because I'm glad we got a guard in here to replace Lowry, but we all know who we should have had, and we're missed out on plenty of free agents of Kelly Oubre, Christian Wood, Dame Lillard, and all these type of guys. And now look at the depth that we have.
Yep. Trent, I agree with a lot of the things you're saying, brother. I'm with you. I'm with you with everything. The whole offseason thing, the whole everything. The only thing I'm not with you, bro, is when you say the Heat suck. Nah.
I know it.
My dog, I'm not trying to be biased. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I won't say that, and here's why. The team's better. The team's better than last year. And I understand what you're saying about everything, but we have to take into a factor that when you trade for somebody like Rozier, there's something with chemistry. It's like I said the last time we did this. Kyle Lowry had more of an effect than what we thought. I know he was trash. I know he wasn't playing good, but he wasn't a guy that needed the ball in his hand. Tyler Herro and Terry Rozier, I don't think it's an optimal backcourt. I think you need to start someone else and bring one of them off the bench. I've said that many times. But if this is the lineup that we're going to have to go with, they need to get acclimated together. Rozier needs to find out how to bring his game differently than what he did with Charlotte. It's taking time. Look, in the last game where we won against Sacramento, he had 9 assists. So he's learning how to be the facilitator on this team. He's learning how to be a part of this squad. And another thing, you guys, Jimmy Butler don't play basketball from October to January, we're noticing. It's time. It's February. The Heat are not out of the bracket. I really feel that we're going to turn this around. We got to take it game by game. I think if we lost against Sacramento and had we won like today against Washington, it would have been more of a fear. But the fact that we beat a team like Sacramento shows you what we can do. And let's not forget, y'all, Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo had a team meeting with these guys. I think that's when these teams have team meetings, guys. I don't know if y'all remember. I'm a little older on the older side, but 2006, we got the shit beat out of us by Dallas Mavericks in February. Same time right now, we got destroyed by 40 points. Gary Payton, Dwayne Wade, Shaq, all them boys were in the locker room talking to each other, pumping themselves up about how they can get it ready. And they went on a winning streak. The same thing happened with Jimmy Butler calling these players out. It's February. We're getting to the second half of the season. We know that it's Miami turns it on. So maybe I'm being biased. Maybe I'm being cocky Heat fan, but it's not over. This team don't suck. They're better than last year. We got a size issue. Yeah, we got a guard issue, but we got a better roster this year. If we fully healthy, we're going to make some noise. I don't care where we at. My opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I believe in this team, obviously, but I don't know if we could. Maybe we can get back to the NBA Finals, maybe, but it's going to be a tough road with the Celtics, obviously adding KP and Drew Holiday. So they're one of the only 2 teams, I believe, that are top 10 in offensive rating, defensive rating. Like, that's a juggernaut right there. I think the Nuggets are the other team as well. Those are 2 teams. Maybe the Clippers we could beat. I still think they're obviously better than us right now at this point, but there's like 4 teams or so that I'm like pretty afraid of, especially since we haven't bolstered our roster. You know, every Miami Heat fan's 3 favorite words: run it back, right? We keep running it back with these minimal moves. Terry Rozier, he's deferring right now. He's trying to figure shit out right now. He's obviously not getting the same attempts he did with the crappy Hornets, but you could see he's trying to fit in. He just needs to shoot more efficiently, and I think he's going to fit in fine. He understands this is Jimmy's team. He's trying to set up Bam in the pick and roll. He's trying to get Tyler more involved off ball. So I think he'll be okay, but I still think we need to make a major move or even just a small shakeup at this point just to see how competitive we can be. And then this summer, we need to go all in on a whale if it's potential. But, I mean, dude, we need a lot of help in different areas. One, offense, we're shit. We're 22nd offensive rating, 29th or 27th in scoring right now. So we know that's one issue is scoring. Rebounding, Ernest, we've been talking about this. We need a starting 4. We have so many good wing defenders, but they keep getting hurt. So we could always factor that 2 of them will be available. Not all 3. We're lucky right now. All 3, Haywood, Hawkes, and Caleb are all healthy at this point. But we're 30th or what are we, 25th in rebounding, dude, right now. So, like, we have an issue with scoring. We have an issue with size. Defense will figure it out. We're getting better, hopefully. But, yeah, dude, I love your confidence right now, but I still think we need to make a major move. And I don't know, Martel, what are your thoughts? I know you have some opinions right now. You were upset with obviously the Heat trading for Kyle Lowry and his impact, and just the lack of moves that we've been making throughout the last 4 years with Jimmy's build. So, just what are your thoughts?
No, I mean, you just have to hold people accountable. Like 2 years in a row, we have a power forward that's Caleb Martin. Like, why? Now it's Haywood Highsmith. Why? You got Bam, guarding 1 through 5, setting screens, doing the whole pick and roll. Now you're forcing him to cover even more, and then you want him to score 20 or more on the other side. And then, like, when it comes down to just the overall roster development, the fact that we're still talking about size, because since 2020, when we played the Lakers with AD, JaVale McGee, and all these other big guys, Dwight Howard, that's right after that season, we should have solved the whole size issue. I don't understand why we have to keep talking about size. And same thing like with the offense. This offense has been trash because, like how Trent said, when you get even to the NBA Finals and you got to play these Western Conference teams, they can cook offensively. They might not have the best defense, but guess what? They can outscore you. So at the end of the day, I don't understand why we put all this pressure on Bam, Jimmy, and Spo and say, listen, we want you to just turn it around every year. And I get that we've done that, and that's kind of the knock on the Miami Heat because, how can you blame them and how can you scrutinize them when they get so far, like in the playoffs or even when they reach the finals, but it doesn't make it right in my opinion.
Now let me say this real quick. Everybody wants to make trades and stuff like that. That's fine to me. But I think we didn't bring this up. The supposed big three of Miami, they don't play well together. The record's proven.
Cook on that too.
Yep, that's another big thing, right? Tyler, he don't want to sacrifice, and then he brings up. I'm pretty sure y'all seen that video of him. I'm sacrificing, changing my game a little bit, being in that catch. And yo. That pissed me off so much. I made a video on that, yo, bro. That got me so damn mad. Tyler, if you really want to sacrifice, go to the damn bench. That's what we need you to do because
Manu.
What I keep bringing up this record, but 93-49 when you're on the bench. Put in Duncan Robinson, and I feel like I repeat myself every single time. Do they need to come to this YouTube channel, this hair what we keep saying? Tyler cannot be in this starting lineup if we want to be as effective as possible in the as our starting lineup and just overall as a team. You know why? Because Tyler needs the ball in his hand, but also Terry Rozier needs the ball in his hand. So a lot of people are criticizing Terry Rozier in the sense of his shooting percentage and him not scoring well. But the problem is that he's trying to get, like you said, he's trying to get all his teammates involved in Jimmy and Bam and Tyler and not trying to step on toes. But let's be honest. Personally, in my opinion, Terry Rozier, he's a go-getter. He's going to get that bucket anytime you want. Look at Charlotte back in the day, Celtics back in the day. That dude can hoop. So when we have Duncan, he just cuts, doesn't need the ball in his hand at all. So when you have a Terry, a Duncan, a Jimmy, a Bam, and whoever you want to put at the 4 position, this team will be fine. Tyler, you could take 15, 30 floaters all you want, get blocked half of them, do freaking fadeaway shots all you want on the bench. We're fine with that. But in this starting lineup, we need that consistency and stuff like that, and we're not going to get that at all. So big trades, Amir, this and that, doesn't matter. We need to find some chemistry or something with this big three to work. I don't care about this championship run that we made. We ain't win it. The goal is to win. We haven't won since 2013. We're in 2024. That Caleb Martin run was special. What has he done this year? I get it. He's injured. But like, all this little stuff, bro, I don't care. At the end of the day, our main goal, I think everybody in this panel want us to win a championship, and these players need to do whatever it takes because Jimmy not winning a championship in this whole situation since he joined would be the biggest, I don't even know the word.
Let down.
Biggest letdown ever because Jimmy
yeah, but part of that
deserves
is on him though.
It is. You're right.
That is on him. So we got to hold him accountable because that whole thing where he want to play half the season or load managing like in the game and doing all. Listen, when we look at all the other stars, and I understand like a lot of people don't think that Jimmy Butler is a number one option. He can be, but if you know that he's not going to take the regular season seriously, which I don't agree with, why don't you put a better roster around just Bam and Tyler? You got to put a whole better roster around them if you want Jimmy Butler to coast. And then also too, like with the whole Tyler thing, if you want him to come off the bench, that's where Spo comes in because they want to talk about Heat culture and being strict. Does Pat need to come downstairs and tell him to come off the bench? Now, if he's not going to come off the bench, he just has to do a little bit more catch and shoot because I understand he said he wanted to get to the rim and get to the free throw line. He's not really doing that this year. So I don't know if he has to get into the weight room or whatever it might be, but I just think if he sees that he's missing his shots, he just needs to scale back a little bit and let the other guys run the offense.
Yeah, let me propose a question real quick. As like I go back and forth and shit on Tyler, and then I'm okay with Tyler, and then I shit on Tyler. Trent obviously shits on him all the time. I think Ernest, you're a little more optimistic with Tyler. So I don't know realistically if putting him on the bench is really going to make us a better team. Starting, like, I don't know if that's like, suppose the smartest coach in the NBA, like he would have done it by now, or talked to Tyler, or just said, "Hey, you're fucking doing it. I'm sorry. You're 23 years old. If you really want to win and sacrifice, blah 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 blah." So screw Tyler Herro talk. I'm going to propose something else. We know Himmy is top 5 in the playoffs, which is more important, right? At least in the last 4 years, he's a top 5 superstar in the playoffs. Regular season, he's not a superstar. He's an all-star, sometimes borderline all-star. So is Jimmy good enough, honestly, outside of the fluke injury? Because look at the trends of all the last championships in the last 10 fucking years. Steph Curry had won a ring on his own. That was pretty fucking spectacular, with the chemistry with Clay and Draymond after KD left. But Curry's considered a top 5 player. Kawhi, when he was on the Raptors, a top 3 player. KD, when he was on the Warriors, top 3 player. LeBron, when he was on the Lakers, top 5 player, right? Like, superstars win rings. That's why we haven't won a ring in 10 years, to Trent's point. Like, are our stars good enough? Like, Bam is obviously good enough to be a 2. Jimmy theoretically is good enough to be a 1. That's why we blame Tyler, but should we look at them too and put more blame on them, honestly, outside of roster construction and Tyler Herro, which are obviously variables, right? So I don't know. Do you think we're good enough with Jimmy? Is he good enough, him and Bam? That duo, it starts from the top. Like, fuck Tyler Herro. He's our 3rd best player. Who cares about him? It should be the top 2 that we need to focus on. So I don't know.
I'm curious what Ant thinks. What you think,
Yeah,
Ant?
I was going to say, I'm not done talking about Tyler Herro, because I got to say that Trent was spitting. And listen, you know he's right, because all these Tyler Herro stands that say Herro can do no wrong, they starting to come around. Even Ernest, in his little monologue to open us up, he said, "Oh, that Terry and Tyler, they don't work great. One of them has to come off the bench."
Yep.
Who? I know where you getting at. Who? And his
Tyler.
name is Tyler Herro. That's
Yep.
the guy who has to come off the bench. And Amir, you see the stats we all do, my brother. You know this team will be way better with Duncan Robinson in the starting lineup and not having Tyler Herro take 100 shots a night. But off of that point, I want to talk about Jimmy Butler, because I don't care what the man does in the regular season. If he has to coast to turn into God in the playoffs, then I don't care. You got Martell talking about, oh, look at these other stars. Like who? Joel Embiid, who hasn't been out of the second round. Paul George, who chokes every playoffs. James Harden, who also chokes every playoffs. You know who doesn't choke every playoffs? Jimmy Butler. That man is not the reason that we haven't won a champion, or is not the reason we haven't won a championship. He's the reason that we are contenders every single year. The definition of a superstar is a big-time player who makes big-time plays in big-time games. And that's what Jimmy Butler does. Now, I'm not going to give him a 100% pass for the regular season, because what good is playoff Jimmy if you don't make the playoffs? So he needs to pick and choose his spots a little bit better. But last night was just a good game. Last game was a good game. He decided it was a time to choose his spot. That doesn't mean it's time for Jimmy to turn around, because last season, Jimmy really didn't start caring until the actual playoffs started, because they lost that first playing game. So it's very likely that Jimmy's not going to care tonight versus the Wizards. He's going to score 14 points, and everyone's going to say, oh, he don't care again. Yeah, because it's not the playoffs, and tonight's game does not mean shit. So I don't care what Jimmy Butler does in the regular season, because come the games that it actually matters, you cannot name 5 players that are better than him. And that's how you win a championship.
Facts, brother. I'm so with you there. I mean, I've said this here before with you guys, but I want Anthony to hear this, because I'm sure you'll agree. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the documentaries with like teams like the Bulls, the Last Dance, or 30 for 30 with Detroit Pistons, the Lakers documentary against the Boston Celtics. What do all these teams have in common? All of these teams talk about the grind from October to June. When you're a team that plays every year, 9 months consistent basketball, for those that play the game, like myself, Trent, Amir, I don't know if Martell and if you guys do, but how do you feel after the game? Yeah. How do you feel? I mean, me, I'm in my mid-30s already, but the next day you ain't feeling great. See, I can relate to Jimmy Butler because I do pro wrestling. I'm 34 also. I know what it's like. I know what the body feels like the next day. When you're a type of player who's playing competitive basketball from October, November, all the way to June, Your body doesn't heal like other players who are playing from November to April, who have a longer stretch. Jimmy Butler's 34. We cannot expect Jimmy Butler to be in Hemi mode December, November, January. I saw a Jimmy Butler who took a step back this year to allow Tyler Herro and Bam Adebayo to become those guys. We saw it from Tyler the first 5 games. But what the hell happened those first 5 games? We were 1-4. Tyler's off for 18 games. We have a winning record during that stretch. Why? Because guys like Duncan Robinson and Jaime Jaquez Jr. stepped up. Now, I agree with you guys about starting Duncan. I think Duncan is the better starter, but I think come playoff time, you go matchup between Duncan Robinson and Jaime Jaquez Jr. Why? Because you need a guy who can defend in the backcourt. If you put a lineup with Terry Rozier and Duncan Robinson, you're going to suffer the same thing you're going through with Tyler Herro and Duncan Robinson. It's not a great defensive backcourt. Why did Steph Curry and Klay Thompson work so well? Because Klay Thompson was a defensive specialist along with being a shooter. You put Jaime Jaquez in there in the starting lineup. I think he's the better candidate, but Duncan Robinson's a better shooter. And this may allow Terry Rozier to play his game. So offensive, it may not be better defensively starting Duncan and Terry, but I think it's still better. Starting Duncan or Jaime Jaquez is much better than starting Tyler Herro. If this was the San Antonio Spurs, then yes, Tyler Herro would be God's gift to basketball because of what he can do. It just doesn't fit with the Miami Heat roster. The only way it fits is what we saw in 2020, 2022, and what we are begging for with Trent saying, put that motherfucker on the bench. Trent, what was the record? What was the record with Tyler Herro on the bench?
93 and 49.
For the love of God, Trent, what is the record since Jimmy and Tyler and Bam have been starting since 2022? I know you had that record. What was that?
Oh, I do. It's hold on. How do I have it?
Since Tyler's been
31,
starting.
31 and 35. 31 and
Good
35.
Lord. Good Lord. I mean, guys, I don't knock Tyler. I know I'm the biggest Heat optimist. I love Tyler. Come off the bench, dude. Like, if you really want to be that guy, be Manu Ginobili. It ain't gonna happen. So that's why I don't want to trade Duncan. I'll trade Caleb, but whatever. But if we can get a viable big next to Bam for Tyler Herro, if you trade Duncan for a Kyle Kuzma, I'm cool with that because you keep Tyler. But give me somebody who can crash the boards, block shots, and who can get, that doesn't have to be an all-star. Just give me somebody that can do that to alleviate the pressure off of Bam. Because why can't Bam shoot threes? Because if he shoots a three, who the fuck is going to get the rebound? Like,
so we look at two things. We look at the front office and we look at, I'm going to say it, we look at Tyler, because what you said earlier, you said Jimmy takes a step back in the regular season and he wants his 2 guys to take over who's supposed to be the future of the Miami Heat, which good luck with that because we're going to fucking suck with them being the future. I love Bam, but if Tyler's our number 1 option being the scorer, this team's going to be a lottery team. Let's just get that straight without Jimmy. Now let me say this, right? One thing about Tyler, you know the last time Tyler scored 25 points or 20 plus points was January 19th. January 19th. We are in February 2nd. You are supposed to be our main guy to help this team consistently score and get this offense running. But no, you know all he does? I need the screen. Because without no fucking screen, he can't score. His handles are weak. I probably got better handles than him. He's weak as hell. He can't draw fouls. Look at Jimmy Butler. Look how Jimmy Butler recently went to the free throw line. What he shot? 14 for 14. That's what star players do. They get easy baskets. They go to the free throw line. But Tyler makes it hard for himself. Extremely hard. Doing stupid fadeaways. And then I know I keep bringing up this sacrifice. If you want to sacrifice, go take your ass to the bench. You got your money. But look, he would never do that. He would never do that because he's still a kid. He still has that young mindset, and he plays for Tyler. I remember our first episode that we talked about, Ernest. You say he plays for Tyler, not for the Miami Heat. He cares about himself. And I think there's a reason why this big 3, even when they're healthy, we was on that 7-game losing streak. Throughout the years, we're 31 and 35 because there's something that's not clicking with this big 3, suppose. I don't know what it is, but it needs to change ASAP. It just needs to change ASAP. We got to trade Tyler. I'm for it. I'm for it. You know who I want? I want Donovan Mitchell. I know it's not
Yep.
gonna happen. I think we all know that. But let's put Tyler and the Cavaliers. They're fucking 1-81. Let's put Donovan Mitchell on the Miami Heat. We're probably 82-0 with Jimmy. It's just a proven fact. This dude is not good enough to run this organization. And man, oh man, we're not gonna get to the point of blowing this up when Jimmy leaves and stuff. But that's gonna be a crazy, crazy run with those big two of Tyler and Bam. Oh,
Bro,
yeah.
something happened with Jimmy and Tyler after the 2020 season. I don't know if you guys remember. Tyler was Jimmy's guy. Tyler was like, he went under the wing of Jimmy. I remember they were like joking around, TikTok stuff. Jimmy Butler would talk about his brothers. Bro, after the 2020 season, hold out there. Like Jimmy and Tyler, you would never see them together. I don't know if there's something more internally that's going on. And I don't know what you think about that. I'm dying to hear what you got to say. But I feel like with Jimmy and Tyler, bro, when they're out there, it's like hot potato. Like the chemistry doesn't work. Not with Tyler and Bam. Like it's like Trent said, he's always asking for screens. But it's something with Jimmy and Tyler when they're out there. I don't know, man. I don't see it working. And the proof is in the pudding. Look what happened in the playoffs. Look what happened with when Tyler was out. We were in a winning record. And I gotta hear from you, my guy. What's your take on that?
Hey, does anyone know how many points Tyrese Maxey had last night?
50,
Hold that
51.
Niño Goño. Like I don't need to hear that shit.
And there's a lot of people saying that Tyler Herro is better than that man, which is insane.
Nope.
But it's funny you brought up that point, Ernest, about his relationship with Jimmy, because I've literally been thinking that for quite some time now. Because you used to see them, they had the magazine shoot that they did together, joking around. You had him talking about put me on your tiki talk, and he was talking about his brothers, like you said. You haven't seen nothing like that anymore. All you really hear, and to be honest, I thought it was kind of weird. Outside of the commercials, which they get paid to do, you don't see a lot of connection with Jimmy and Jaime either, which seems weird. But all you really see is Jovic and Jimmy. I don't know if there's anything to that. I don't want to read too far into it, but you know Jimmy's relationship with Jovic. You don't see it too much with the other guys. And we know in Jimmy's last situations, when he's not happy with a teammate, he makes it as obvious as possible. We know he didn't like those young kids in Chicago. We know about everything that happened in Minnesota. He's been on multiple podcasts talking about the work ethic in Philly, where the only players he liked, he said, was Embiid and TJ McConnell. So he's pretty vocal and makes it clear when he does not like a teammate. Now, we also saw that. I saw you had a video about it, Ernest. He wants to stay here for the rest of his career. At least that's what his agent said. There's no doubt about it that he likes it here. But I think he has a lot of questions about the roster. And if that's the case, they need to do something this deadline to appease him, because he is your star. And I think he's done enough to deserve them to build a better roster around him.
Agreed.
Martel,
Deserve
what do you think?
That's the key word. Yeah. Martel, hop in.
What was the main question? Go ahead.
Just the Jimmy and Tyler like relationship. Like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, everything we've been talking about.
Yeah.
It's like it's kind of like what y'all said. They haven't been as close since the bubble. I spoke to Ethan J. Skolnick about it. He said there's no beef, but you know what I mean, because they're really close to the Miami Heat, so he would know. But I mean, you guys are right. For some reason, these three guys that we have, our best players, they just don't gel right together. We don't really know the internal stuff about the Heat because they're not going to let us know. Maybe like until someone's traded, you'll really know what's going on. But until then, we got to figure it out. This group has been together for 4 or 5 years. The time is now. The Jimmy Butler window is closing, even though I still think that the East is wide open. The only team that I really fear like that is the Boston Celtics. But other than that, we got to figure it out as a team and move on because, yeah, we want all these glorious trades, but they're not coming to save us right now. We got to worry about winning, and we got to worry about winning together as a group.
Let me say something, Martel, real quick. You said there's no beef, but I know. Listen, I was brought up a little bit different in the sense you may not have beef with someone, but you may not like someone. So they're not gonna technically have beef, but Jimmy may like side eye that dude real quick in the huddle, like it is lame. But let me just say something real quick. I'm sorry, I'm coming for Tyler a little bit too much, and I know the comments are gonna criticize me. I don't even care.
You're doing what?
Huh?
You're doing what?
You crazy?
Pause on that.
Hey, look. Listen. All I will say is, we keep talking about one factor of why this team is getting hold back, and what name do we continue to keep bringing up? It's Tyler.
No. It's bigger than that.
It is bigger than
It's
that.
like what I told you.
I get that. I don't think Hold up. Let me
Tyler
say this
Hero
one.
is not a good defender, and they put Kyle Lowry next to him. Okay, this front office has failed to put a 4 next to Bam Adebayo since PJ Tucker left. Those are bigger glaring holes than just Tyler Hero. Yes, he's
No,
part of the
I
blame.
get it.
He does deserve to be cooked for because he's one of our best players. But at the same time, there's more holes on this roster that Pat has failed to actually correct, in my opinion. Think about it. We have a 6'5" guy next to Bam Adebayo. Why? And no point guard until now.
Because
Why?
he has a 7-foot wingspan.
That's fine. But now you have Bam doing everything.
Yeah, but
Because
here's the thing, Martel, and like the offseason, there was nobody to get. Like, remember, it was all Damian Lillard. Who was the biggest contract that was given beside? Like, nobody. Like, you could have gotten Christian Wood, you could have gotten Kelly Oubre, we could have gotten people, but we were on a Damian Lillard watch. We
But hold on
couldn't
to that.
do
Hold on to
anything.
that. Hold on to that. Because
Okay.
according to the Big Heat sources, now didn't they say that Joe Cronin refused to pick up the phone? Now I know that they
Yeah.
were hoping that he would eventually, but guess what? At the same time, we need a 4 at the same time. There's so many holes on this roster. Look at Milwaukee.
Yeah.
When they let go of Holiday, their defense is in shambles. So was it really worth it? Because think about it. If Jimmy was able to cook Drew Holiday, you don't think he'll be able to cook Dame? I'm just saying. I'm not because listen, if we can fill up the roster like with a bunch of undrafted guys, trust me when I'm telling you, why can't we get at least a decent 4? A decent 4,
Yeah.
a taller 4. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking
I think
for, all-stars. I'm not asking for all-stars.
Is that going to move the needle though?
No, but
What's
I
that?
think the problem with the Heat is that they keep going for whales. And I mean, to move the needle, Amir, it may not move the needle, but my God, you just need somebody to grab rebounds. I mean, good Lord, I
Thank
was watching
you.
the game
You
against.
don't need a whale. Thank you.
Yeah, I was watching the game against San Antonio. I was watching Haywood Highsmith standing next to Keegan Murray and Sabonis, and I'm like, what is this, varsity versus JV? And that's our power forward. Like, it's just that Miami hasn't had the opportunity because they've gone for other stuff. Instead of trying to fix your team, like with getting a solid 4, you're trying to go after a whale like Damian Lillard. Instead of making a trade for somebody who's going to help you, something we did like in 2020 for Jay Crowder and Andre Iguodala, we're going for a big fish like Terry Rozier. Whale hunting is fun and dandy, but sometimes shoot you in the foot. So, I mean, I don't think the Heat don't know about this problem they have with size. I just think that one, Spo likes to play small ball. It's just the way that he coaches. And two, every time the Heat have maybe an opportunity to get somebody big, they go for a whale and they think to themselves, well, we could probably get somebody in the trade or the buyout candidate like we did with Kevin Love and Cody Zeller. It's not going to fix it, but good Lord, it could help.
I will say this though, the Miami Heat tend to do this thing that frustrates me. They think, let me just use a comparison if this makes sense. You're a wrestler, so WWE and AEW, there's a free agent right now. WWE's like, if he wants to come to WWE, he'll just go there because we're the bigger name and stuff like that. That's what Miami does. Like, they don't really put too much effort into, like, if they want to play for Miami, we're gonna make the thing. We're not gonna go after them. They're like not gonna go chase the girl. Sometimes you gotta go chase that girl to go get her, right?
Yep.
And that's what they tend not to do. So we missed out on plenty of people. Like, even if the rumors weren't true, they were always rumored and linked to us of Kyrie back in the day, Beal. Thank God we didn't get. Matter of fact, I'd rather have a Beal right now over Tyler Herro. I'm just saying. But
Beal's been busting her ass in those 2 games.
no. Beal has been playing better though. Beal has been playing better. But all I'm saying is the Miami Heat need to realize, bro, we haven't won since 2013. We just need to win. That's all I care about. All this frustration is because we haven't won. I care about winning, and that's it. That's all that matters at the end of the day. Winning, and winning. Simple.
Agreed.
Yeah, man. I think, Ernest, that's a good point. 2020, when we got Crowder and Iguodala, they weren't like the splashiest moves. Like, they were kind of older, like vets, but they still like moved the
Get some
needle.
love for Solomon Hill, man. That's a Heat lifer right there too.
Solomon Hill.
I bring up the guys' names that played.
KZ Alcala, is that guy still in the league?
Hey, Amir, the question about Jimmy Butler in a sense, right? Do I think he can carry us? I didn't get to answer that question, but I will say this. Jimmy Butler, I think he can. I really do think he can. And it just goes back to the front office. When you look at the last couple champions, look who their 2 stars are, like Jokic and Murray. Like, that's his dynamic. Butler don't have that. He just doesn't have it. So he's like fucking playing 48 minutes, doing whatever he can, and then he got a bum teammate right next to him who just shoots a bunch of floaters and doesn't help him. So I think he can, but the roster constructed around him is not going to get it done. And if we can't get it done this season, what? Jimmy's only going to get older next year?
Yeah.
Like, what are we gonna do?
We need to make a marginal move. I mean, we got to shake this roster up. Just because we got one victory, broke that 7-game win streak, had one good shooting night, passed the ball well one night, like that doesn't change. That's a band-aid right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, we can make a move. Like we have tradable contracts, and we don't have to go crazy like trading Tyler. You can take Caleb Martin's $7 million contract, package it with somebody like a Thomas Bryant, Nikola Jovic, if you're trying to get somebody better, Josh Richardson, and you can like there's guys that are making like anywhere from like $7 to $10 million or a little more that you can trade for, and you can get some help with size. The problem is we're not hearing any rumors. We don't know if the Heat are.
That matches
Tell me.
exactly with the first two names that you said, which would be
Tell
Caleb
us,
Martin, who the Heat can't afford to keep next season, and Thomas Bryant. And it is a guy whose name we just heard starting a few days ago. It's Nicholas Claxton.
My dog.
6'11".
I like that.
Could play. It's a difficult fit next to Bam because of the shooting, but at the very least, it's some size off the bench or matchup based, as I think Trent was saying earlier, or Ernest was saying earlier. That's a guy. Now, why Brooklyn would trade him, I honestly don't know. He's 24, very solid player, fits their timeline. But we've heard his name out there. And if we just heard, this came out today, the Nets turned down 2 first-round picks for Dorian Finney-Smith. If that's true, I'm calling it BS, to be honest. But if that's true, obviously the Heat can't get him if that's the value. But maybe they can get on there on Nick Claxton. You're talking Caleb Martin, maybe Jovic, maybe Thomas Bryant. I know we like Jovic, but shit, if you're trying to win a ring this year, getting Nick Claxton on this team gives you a better shot because he does a great job in helping fill a hole.
Well, look, Jovic can be looked at as a future first-round draft pick. Brooklyn's trash. So what do teams that are rebuilding, what are they looking for? They're looking for draft capital, young assets, expiring contract. Miami can give them all three. I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but if you're willing to do Caleb Martin, Nikola Jovic, and the 2030 first-round pick for a Claxton, I mean, that may be giving a little too much. But let's be honest, with Bam Adebayo's in the bench, we suck donkey dick at rebounding the basketball. So if you have a Nicholas Claxton out there coming off the bench for Bam, you can slide Kevin Love or Caleb Martin as a starting 4. Go match up like we did in the playoffs. Let's fucking go. Like, why not?
Get Jovic off my team, please.
He's an asset. He's a young asset. Like, if I'll plug him in a trade with Caleb Martin, that way we ain't got to trade Duncan Robinson and Tyler, and we can maybe get an upgrade. Like, my God, I mean,
I agree. He is an asset. Just get him off my team.
Yeah,
just get him off my team, bro.
Look, I'll just name you guys. I'll name you guys some power forwards that are making like those monies. Nick Claxton's a great one. You got Royce O'Neal, but trash. You got Jeff Green, trash. I mean, you got Kyle Anderson, Daniel Theus. I'm just looking at big men right now. Okongwu from Atlanta.
Nah.
I mean, you got Jock Landale. I mean, Anderson. The one that I mentioned was Daniel Gafford. If Miami could convince Washington to do a Daniel Gafford trade, like, I'll give you Caleb Martin and Nikola Jovic. Maybe not a first-round draft pick, maybe a pick swap or a second. But, Daniel, like, that's what we need. Like, we don't have to have somebody starting next to Bam. You can start Caleb Martin. You can even start Kevin Love sometimes. Kevin Love doesn't play a full, 48. Kevin Love can just start the first and the third. But if you have Claxton coming off the bench for Bam, this fixes our rebounding problem. Because when Bam's not out there, we can't rebound the ball. Yeah. So I don't know what you guys think on that. I don't know if you have any other players. I'm looking at salaries. I don't know.
I got some ideas too, but I think the Claxton thing is great because obviously
I love that one.
Rim protection. He's good at blocking, right? He's also I think he's the highest field goal percentage. 60. I mean, all he does is those little hook shots, 63, right? Number 1 in field goal. And Bam has not been playing in the paint. He's not getting any lobs from Tyler. Like, he's shooting that mid range, and he's obviously not being that effective in the month of January, right? So, he's playing outside the paint. Let Nick Claxton operate in that paint area, get the offensive boards for us. I think that works. But again, he's going to cost too much, dude. If Finney-Smith is 2 first-round picks, Claxton is going to be 2 picks, Jovic and Martin and something.
It'd be a 1-year rental too. Expiring contract.
That's a fair thing too, right there. So, I have an idea though. Let me bring this up though real quick, because I saw a report. I know he's injured, but our boy Namdi is on the trade block. It looks like the Lakers have been shopping around Gabe Vincent. So I don't know. I know, no, but
No.
no. One thing, you do need a
I
backup.
trade Tyler Herro for Namdi.
Yeah, it's straight up, right?
That's funny.
And
No.
look at my face right now.
Obviously, I'm not the biggest Gabe Vincent fan, obviously, right? He's making $10 million a year. But like, hey, we have 2 holes. We don't have a backup point guard technically, and we need a starting power forward, right? We don't even have a true point guard on our roster anymore.
He's
Now that we got rid
injured.
of Meatball, so we have Rozier and who else? Like no one. He's a combo guard.
Josh
so,
Richardson. Josh
Hey,
Richardson
hold
is
on.
fine.
combo guard. But wait, let me finish this. Who else could we get from the Lakers? Do you think this guy would be a good fit? Rui Hachimura. He is 6'9". He's shooting 40% from 3. Only 23 minutes, so he's getting 4 or 5 rebounds. But when he was on the Wizards, his first 2 years was playing 30 minutes. He was averaging 14, 7. He's capable. He's not very tall, but he's still 6'8", 230 pounds. Caleb Martin, Haywood Highsmith, 6'5", 205. That gives you size, someone who could hit the 3, spread the floor. I don't know who would have to give up though. Like if you wanted to do Rui and Gabe, that's 25 million. So like you would have to throw in
Tyler.
like a Duncan or a Tyler would be like one of the catalysts plus a Caleb. But for Rui, you can do Caleb, and then you have to put in a couple other pieces to make the money work because it's at 15 million. Caleb's at 7. But I like Rui possibly because Lakers are a team. You know they're gonna fucking make a move. La GM is fucking trying to figure out who's gonna join him every offseason, every freaking trade deadline. The Lakers make a move. So Namdi and Rui, I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts?
Let me say something about that. Going back to Claxton, I don't think Claxton wants to come off the bench, and I don't think he deserves to come off the bench. He's a talented big to not. So that's the problem with that. You could put Bam at the 4, but like Ant said, the spacing is going to be awful. Maybe they can figure it out in a sense. I don't know about that. Trust me, I just made a video on Claxton, so you guys go check it out on Miami Heat Network. Got to click that in there real quick. But Amir, respectfully, the Lakers are not trading us Rui. They want a star player. They want somebody that think they can win it. They want a Murray or they want Levine. They don't want no bum Tyler Herro. They don't want nobody on our roster. They only look at star players. That's all they look at. Superstar players just to team up with LeBron just for them to fail at the end of the day. That's all the Lakers do. So
they got Vanderbilt. They got
out for the season now. He's out for the season.
They don't always make the big splash. They try to.
Yeah, he's out for the season, but they did what they had to. They did what they had to do with Russ because his contract. But listen, would I want a Rui? Sure, but they just signed him to a contract extension, not trading Rui. So
you guys are talking about the wrong Lakers trade. Amir, you missed the best power forward on the roster. I want LeBron Ramon James. They had the report saying this man will be available. Rich Paul coming out saying, oh, no, that's not the case. They just trying to drive up my guy's trade value. Listen, you put LeBron on this team. I'm keeping Duncan Robinson. Put that man at the 2. Catch and shoot in the corner. That's going to be automatic. I don't give a damn if the guy is 39 years old. I'm trying to win right now because Jimmy Butler's got a guaranteed year or 2. I'd feel comfortable saying playing at this level. Well, I'd say the same about LeBron. Screw the future. Get LeBron in here. Go all in for 2 seasons. You have a shot as a legitimate championship contender for 2 seasons. And that's not something that a lot of teams can say. If LeBron is actually available, I'm giving up Tyler. I'm giving up Jovic. I'm giving up Jaime Jaquez Jr. I don't care. These are dudes we didn't even know who the hell Jaime Jaquez was 4 months ago. And now you're going to have Heat fans saying, oh, I don't want to trade him for LeBron. You trying to win now? Or are you trying to win 7 years from now when Jaime Jaquez is a borderline all-star? I'm trying to win right now. Give me the greatest player of all time who could play 1 through 5. Put him on this team with Jimmy. Put him on this team with Bam, and let's go win a championship.
Who won us a championship, mind you? Who won us?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing because if you're gonna trade for LeBron, you gotta thank you, Anthony, for bringing that up. I was actually gonna save that for the end, but yeah, that was actually that Nick Wright was talking about that as well on his channel, and he did mention a possible package where we don't have to include Jaime Jaquez. A package that included Tyler Herro, Duncan Robinson, and a future first-round draft pick with maybe Nikola Jovic for LeBron James. So if Miami's able to do that, do you think that's a good enough trade for LeBron?
Yes, because it doesn't sound like that's enough. I feel like they're going to want 2 first-round picks, Jaime, Jovic, and Tyler Herro.
You called him Le GM. He does whatever he wants. If he tells the Lakers, trade me or I'm not going to re-sign here, why the hell would the Lakers keep him if they're not contending? It just makes no sense. Might as well get Duncan and Tyler, see what you can flip them for in the offseason rather than letting LeBron James go. But I'm going to tell y'all right now, The trade rumors were great. What Rich Paul said was great. All that's fantastic. I'm going to tell you something right now. LeBron James has never, will never, and probably will never be traded in the midseason. He's not that guy. He's an off-season guy. He's always has been. He always will be, in my opinion. LeBron's not that player that you trade for in February. He's the guy that leaves your team, signs with another team. I fucking know this because I remember it from 10 years ago. Broke my damn heart. But that's what he does. And he did it to Cleveland. He did it to us. And if he leaves again for the Lakers to play with his son next year, he'll do it again.
Can I
You
ask
hit
you
it
a
on the head,
question?
though. That was
Yeah,
10 years ago. At
Yeah.
39 years old, every season, every month counts. If LeBron knows he's going to walk out, he ain't going to wait for the offseason like he been doing. There's a
ticking.
difference now.
No, yeah, you're right. They're losing. I don't think I can't remember the last time LeBron has been in a situation like this. Like maybe, I mean, last year was kind of like that. Maybe the first year he got with the Lakers and his rookie season. But usually the teams he owns they're contenders every year.
Can I ask y'all a question real quick? Y'all watch football?
Of course.
Yeah.
You know
You
the
already know my
Rams?
team.
Y'all know the Rams? So what the Rams did was they went all in for a Super Bowl. Remember that year? They went all
Yep.
in. They traded everything. Now they came into this season that just came by, and they thought they were going to be one of the worst teams in the league. But they just went to the draft. They got a couple pieces and Puka, Kyron, whatever the case may be, and they made it to the playoffs. So I'm always the type of player or type of dude that says, I'll do anything to win a championship because they come hard. It's
agree.
hard to get. So if we got to sell the whole team just to get a one individual player that I know can win his championships, why not do it? Right? So I just
Good
had to
point.
bring a little comparison of the sense of the Rams did it. They came back this year and still made the playoffs when no one expected it. So if people are going to complain and why would we sell our future? Do we really have a future in the sense of Jovic? We don't know what he is. I could never pronounce his name. The dude's he's great. Jaime. He's good, but like, bro, if we get a chance to get LeBron, why are we complaining? Or any other superstar? So let's just sell the future for whatever the case may be, because a Tyler and Bam ain't winning us nothing. It's a good start, but it's not winning us nothing. So I'm all for it.
Good point.
Mortgage the fucking future, bro.
Who cares?
Fuck the Rams. That was a good
Yeah.
point. But the Niners did that. You know, I'm a Niner fan. We got CMC. I thought that was a little steep of a price, but I'm like, dude, we need him. He's the best running back in football. Hopefully that pays dividends. We'll see. But yeah, dude, it's been 10 years since we won a championship, and we need to make a change.
11.
The stars help us win that shit. Like if we can get LeBron full circle moment coming back to Miami, the first place he won a championship, the first team that taught him what real winning looks like. So he did that with Cleveland. You know, good for him winning that shit back home. But like, let him come back to Miami, end his career here. That'd be a
Full circle.
That'd be another full circle moment for him.
Hey,
Yo,
Martel, any final thoughts?
Yeah, go ahead, Martel.
Yeah, Martel has his final thoughts are
Tyler
the
Herro
Heat.
sucks.
Tyler Herro sucks. The Heat. Now, let me be more positive real quick, all right? Let me be more positive. I feel like I've been negative this whole episode. I love my Miami Heat team. I love them. I really do. It may seem like I don't. I love this team. Let's go on an 8-game win streak now. Let's go gain some momentum.
Let's do it.
Let's go get some momentum. Jimmy's being Jimmy. He's been open. Tyler, let's just not try to get blocked. You know, let's make your shots. Let's Bam. I think Bam's still dealing with a little injury, so I'm gonna give him some slack in the sense of like his shot's not there. He's playing a little bit. Yeah. Terry, Terry, cool. I'm gonna be more positive. Let's go win this Wizards game.
Yeah.
Let's not make it.
Let's
ugly.
get it.
Let's win by 20. That's all I ask.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the ugly wins. Let's win by 20 points. Let's go against the Clippers. I'm sorry. I'm a Russ fan, so I think the Clippers are gonna kill us. So
Yo,
let's
can you
just
hear me?
move on from. Yeah, let's move on from that game and let's just start this. Let's start this rolling, baby. Let's go. Heat Nation,
I
baby.
agree.
Let's start
I
this
agree.
rolling.
Let's go, man. We're turning it around. Let's go.
Make sure y'all like, comment, share, subscribe to all their channels, and we appreciate all the support.
Yes,
For
sir.
real. And
Hey.
it was such a pleasure having you, my guy.
Hey,
Yeah,
Ant
this was
has
fun, man.
the
We'll do it
final
again
word.
soon.
He has the final word.
Yes.
Final
Anthony,
word,
take
man.
it.
How am I supposed to
You
talk
got-
what Trent just said, bro? That man
Nah,
took,
my dog.
I seen it in his eyes. It took everything inside of him to not say, man, get Tyler Herro the hell off my team. Earlier, he said that he'd rather have Bradley Beal instead of Tyler Herro. I could come up with a whole list of guys I'd rather have Goran Dragic. Give me Kirk Heinrich. I don't care. What's he, 43? I'll take him over Tyler Herro. I could come up with a whole list, man. But hey, yeah, let's get this up tonight, man. And follow the rest of these guys. Hey, we're doing something really cool over here, man. Like,
For real.
we're all able to come together And like the Heat community is big enough where there's enough of a market for like all of us to do our own thing and come together. I see a lot of the same people in the comments on my video, on Ernest videos and Amir's and so on. So it'll be cool for the fans, I think, to see us all come together. And we'll do it again at some point. It's a good time. And
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that y'all know ball, because it's my first time hearing some of you and y'all know ball. I got no complaints. So this was a good time.
My guy, we the voice of the voiceless of the Miami Heat squad, you guys. So we're going to continue to do this for you guys, our subscribers. Hope you guys liked it. Don't forget, you got Team to Beat Miami Heat Network. You got my boy Ant. You got freaking Miami Heat Zone podcast. You got me, Miami Heat Talk. If you ain't subscribed, do it.
And we got the greatest host in the mayor.
Let's
There you
go.
go.
Let's go.
Thanks, guys.
Let's go.
Have a good one.
Take care.